hand-raising icon there in your sidebar, and I can unmute you for the question asking part of this, or you can type in the question in that question field on the sidebar. I'm going to keep all the audience members muted just to reduce background noise for the webinar itself. So let me introduce Katie really quickly. She is an assistant editor and journal publishing manager for select titles in the medical journals division at John Wiley & Sons, which is the world's leading society publisher. She graduated from Simmons College in 2010 with a major in history and began working at Wiley as an editorial assistant right after graduation. So she got involved with the SSP after winning the Travel Grant Award for 12. So welcome, Katie, and yeah, we look forward to your presentation.
Thank you. Well, like Corey said, I'm Kate Bridgewater, and I just wanted to start off my presentation. So like college, and my first role was, which was an entry-level job, medical and scholarly publishing, and Wiley's overall mission. I'm journal publishing manager, which is the role I continue to fill to this day. And I've also been responsible for training, like Corey said. I did know that there was, I kind of people a little bit about the largest of Wiley is also known as, those are also, which is the science just for. I get publisher editor is actually kind of a certain assumptions for typesetting and journal book compilation is handled by a team of people, including production editors, mostly to help maintain communication between our editorial office and the rest of our publishing team. I help guide editorial offices and get ideas and projects. I work out budgets, payments, and contracts for our clients, and I maintain a healthy relationship between us, the publisher, and our clients. The JPM role is essentially the face of the publisher for our clients. Even though our editorial offices work with many different people inside Wiley, the JPM serves as point person for any questions or comments. Journal field is only one of many inside Wiley. We actually have 4 core groups inside the STMS business, including health sciences, where I work, life sciences, physical science, and social science and humanities. Trade, which is Crocker and Cliff Notes, and we also have a group called Global Education, which focuses on sciences and some more varied areas like hospitality, culinary arts, modern languages, and geography, and those are usually for students, high school students too. Like I said, editor is kind of a misleading title for my role, and it's really a team effort. So in roles, there's me, the journal publishing manager, which, as I said, is kind of the face of the company, or the face of the who's responsible for all the marketing materials and promotion of the journal, both internally and externally at conferences. Production editor is in charge of the actual compilation of journals. They deal with manuscript flow, and they deal with the time for publication. Our corporate sales colleagues are responsible for securing revenue for the journal through advertising and reprint sales, which are very important. Copies of articles, usually bought by pharmaceutical companies or other big, make up a large percent of our profit, and the advertising sales representative is in charge for selling advertisements both in print and online. The business development manager handles more creative types of commercial revenue, such as sponsored supplement issues. I'd like to talk about some of the challenges, start with the challenges. And one of our biggest challenges is technological hiccups. The industry is in a state of transition and rapid growth, and this is no exception for a large corporate publisher. It's sometimes really challenging to manage all of the new technological advances our clients and colleagues are exposed to, or to determine that this new technology supports our clients' needs. And sometimes our clients aren't sure what will be helpful and what will end up just being a waste of their time and money. So it's our job to help guide them through all of the new things that are out there to use. We have a lot of doctors who are, for example, confused by Twitter and or Facebook, and we advise them, is it worth your time to spend your time on Twitter and Facebook, or are there other ways you could better reach your readership? It's definitely a challenge for all of our colleagues and competitors, large and small, to work through, because the publishing industry is evolving so quickly and all of our content is rapidly becoming digital, either born or adapted. So I'd say technology is probably one of the biggest challenges we face as a commercial academic publisher. Wiley is a global company. Excuse me. We have offices in 12 countries around the world, and we have colleagues who work remotely in even more places than that. This presents obvious logistical problems because it's often difficult to communicate as quickly as we'd like with colleagues who are asleep during our U.S. business hours. We have a very large office in Singapore and several other offices in India, Korea, China, Japan, Australia, as well as all throughout Europe and North America and a few in South America. So time zones are a real challenge for any global company. At Wiley, we compensate with many email exchanges. We often visit other offices, and sometimes with meetings scheduled outside of normal business hours to accommodate people who are in an opposite side of the world situation. It's really great to have a global company, and our colleagues around the world are really amazing to work with. And more importantly, we're bringing content to countries where authors and scholars are becoming more and more frequent contributors to our publications. So it's important for us to honor other cultures as we communicate with our clients. Another challenge, though, we have to deal with is cultural differences between our country, which is based in New Jersey. So Wiley is a US-based company with a UK-based part, which was where Blackwell was from. So we are much more Western than some of our new clients and colleagues. So we definitely have to have cultural outreach, and sometimes it's difficult to know where to start when you're starting work in a new country. So to learn more about the cultures of our international clients, we've undertaken outreach opportunities where colleagues from our international offices speak to us about differences in business practice between the U.S. and our partners in China, India, and the Middle East. Another way that we are dealing with our international presence is to facilitate translation or editing service for our authors in order that more scholars from around the world have the tools they need to publish with Wiley. I'd say one of the last really large challenges we face is that as a large company, which we are a very large company, we have to structure our business by necessity into manageable pieces. I would say that at Wiley, we're quite successful in communicating with colleagues in different parts of the businesses, but for a large part, this is due to the fact that people at Wiley are constantly networking and looking for ways to partner with colleagues across business units in order to develop new, innovative solutions. Excuse me. Getting stuck in silos is something that all companies want to avoid, and some silos are inevitable when your company is as large as Wiley. But I would say that overall, the strong relationships between colleagues make corporate structures manageable. It's just something that's really important for us to be aware of so we don't limit ourselves in any way. So I've talked about some of the challenges. I'd like to focus also on some of our successes, which is always a more pleasant thing to focus on. So one of the most important things and the most personally satisfying things that I do on a daily basis is guiding our clients to successful new products. Again, as you know, in publishing, everything is changing really rapidly, and sometimes it's hard to make sure that our clients are staying at the forefront of the scholarly publishing industry. We're always striving to help our clients improve, and one major way we accomplish this is to guide our clients beyond the basics of print publishing. Excuse me. Some of our recent exciting innovations include online-only migration for clients whose readership has embraced digital content, virtual issues highlighting best-of papers and niche subjects within journals, mobile products like custom apps, podcasts, and the Anywhere article, which is a new product we've developed that is an enhanced content delivery system that is mobile optimized for reader benefit. It's based on HTML5. I don't know how many people are familiar with that, but it's something that the company believes is going to be really big in the coming years, and it's just made our online journal platform a lot more manageable and almost interactive in a way. So that will be coming this summer, and it's something we're really excited about because I think it will benefit our clients and our journal readerships immensely. So coming up with products like that that are sometimes out of the box is something that I really enjoy in publishing, because some things are staying the same with books and traditional print journals, but more and more often we are having to explore creative solutions for more traditional products. One of my other favorite things about working at Wiley is that it is such a global company. We've opened new offices in the past few years across the world, including in Brazil, the United Arab Emirates. We have a couple, which I think is really awesome about new offices in the Pacific. Our colleagues are helping authors and scholars in these countries reach a wide audience of readership China and India are set to exceed contributions from the United States in the next several years. So I think it's really, they're competitors of us. I think it's something that's really great. Our global perspective and important research tools are national. That's something that's really exciting to me as somebody working in publishing. But probably the thing I like the most about working at Wiley is the creative, dynamic teamwork element that comes along with such a wide group of people. Wiley's employees are a talented, diverse group of people, and they're constantly striving to improve. We have colleagues from so many different backgrounds, so solutions for our clients and new products are often really creative and unique. It's really enjoyable to work with such a wide group of people that come from all different backgrounds. I mean, most of the people in our team are often English background majors, and they've worked, in other publishing companies. But we have a lot of people who come in from other corporate areas, and it's just really exciting to learn about ideas that we might not have come up with as a big company. And it's able to support teams of another their knowledge and ideas. I mean, nobody is ever shy about sharing what they've learned or what they know, and I think it's a really great opportunity for somebody who's still in the early stages of their career, like myself, to be able to pick the brains of people who have been in this industry a long time or in different industries and have added so much to our new products and developments. There's a lot of on-the-job learning in publishing as a whole, and I don't think you could ask for a better group of people than the staff we have here at Wiley and in our different client bases across the globe, as well as our editorial office partners and the doctors and managing editors that we work with every day. So I think that's probably the best part about working at such a large corporate publisher. So that's the main part of my presentation. I would love to hear from anyone and take any questions that you guys may have about what I do and what it's like to work at a company like Wiley.
Great. That was a really nice, I think, peeling back the curtain of the sort of early career editorial assistant, editorial publishing manager. So I think we have some questions from some folks in the audience. Charles asked a question about sort of when you first started at Wiley, what were some of the roles, activities that you were involved in as an editorial assistant?
Well, when I started, the editorial assistant position is fairly administrative. So I was doing a lot of invoicing and event planning and mostly report compilation. So it was really interesting to see that background stuff that goes on. We provide reports to our clients on an annual and semi-annual basis. When they travel for meetings or when their contract rolls over, we give them an annual report of their status. So getting to work on that has been great because it was a really behind-the-scenes look at how a journal performs and what people are looking for. So that was a part of the editorial assistant position that I really enjoyed.
Right. Yeah, I'm coming from a humanities background too, so I was an English major and then had a linguistics minor, so similar sort of humanities major, social science minor. And I'm wondering, what sort of methods or objects of study that you were involved in school, what carried over into the position that you have now at Wiley? I mean, is there ways that that the training you got as a humanist are sort of fitted for the role that you have now as a assistant editor?
Well, I'd say one of the #1 things that I use every day that I learned in college as a humanities major was research skills. When I was a history major, I did a lot of term papers and research projects that involved extensive digging through books and journals and all of that kind of thing. So now I'm using those skills to look up beneficial products for our clients, performing market research on what new tools or devices our clients are interested in using, or if we have any problematic publications or things that need to be retracted, it's helpful to have research skills to really dig in and see what's going on and what we can do to correct the problem and prevent it from happening in the future. So I'd say research is one of the #1 things that I got out of my history major that I'm using mostly every day at my job here.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, even something like whatever, writing a paper on the history of the French Revolution and as it impacted whatever English politics or something like that. actually has some translatability to researching client needs at the society level for their particular journal project or something like that. From Adam, so you were talking a little bit about the siloed nature of commercial publishing, and I think silos, you find that impulse toward creating a silo around whether it's a discipline, whether it's subject matter, etc. So it is a real challenge, I think, to talk across those silos, because in some ways the language is different at each place. So what do you do? That's kind of Adam's question. His specific question is, if you could give some examples of how Wiley has worked to break down those silos, and maybe how you yourself have worked to sort of go between different spots in the institution of Wiley.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think Wiley has done a really good job trying to limit the divisions between different parts of the company. We have these semi-annual, I'd say maybe quarterly meetings that are called town halls, when members from upper management and the executive team come to all of the different Wiley offices and share our progress throughout the year, how we're doing both financially and as a company with our clients, share any triumphs with new clients we've signed or really big book deals that have gone on, or new products such as the Anywhere article. I think that these pretty regular presentations are helpful because it really helps people feel like they're part of a bigger company. It's sometimes really easy, I think, for anybody to get stuck into their really daily grind and not really think much about the rest of their institution or their company. So having these annual and semi-annual meetings is a great way to think about the bigger picture. As for myself in my daily life at Wiley, it's not, like I said, it's not that I always am dealing with people outside of the medical teams, but because there are people working on various projects in various departments, I've found that it's really a good way to get perspective on different things that are going on. Even with, like, for example, our corporate sales colleagues, I don't deal with them on a daily basis because most of my clients don't have very many corporate sales, but I love getting to see the monthly corporate sales reports because it gives me a perspective of how we're doing in terms of our revenue generation throughout the entire company, not just, mine that don't have that much corporate revenue. So that's an example for Adam and other people on how daily I'm, interacting with people I would normally not see very much of.
That's it. So reporting out, I mean, the meeting is a chance to sort of report out about accomplishments in individual divisions of the of this really large publisher that is Wiley and Blackwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's pretty crucial. Even, I mean, I know being at a fairly small publisher, like even doing that kind of routine reporting out is really essential. I like too that it sounds like there's actually a lot of information sharing too. I think budgets and budget reports and profit and loss statements and income growth and all that kind of thing can be seen as sensitive, subject matter. But the fact that there is sharing of this kind of information seems important. I mean, it makes people sort of feel like part of that larger team.
Yeah, there's a lot of transparency here at Wiley. We are publicly traded, but the transparency between upper management and regular employees like myself is really appreciated because it does make you feel like you're part of something larger.
Let's see, so Charles has another question. This one's related to international colleagues and clients and how you actually navigate those relationships and literally navigate, whether or not you actually go to meetings abroad or whether you end up having sort of virtual meetings with global clients.
For clients, we almost always, at least part of our internal publishing team travels to meet them. What we generally do to meet with clients is we will travel to the conference that client is attending. For example, we have one client for the American Journal of Transplantation. That's one of our journals that we publish, and we always travel to their annual conference, the American Transplant Congress. So that's something that we do as part of our service to them, to meet with them in person, go over their journal's progress and strengths and weaknesses, and address the editorial board as a larger entity on the journal's progress. So there's quite a bit of international travel to meet with our clients. As far as international travel to meet with our clients, what will happen is a client or a colleague who is more at the head of a group, like for example, the head of the corporate sales division or the director of the production editor team that we work with, will come to different offices at Wiley and have a meeting and talk about how things are going, how things could be better, any specific problems or projects that need to be addressed. Sometimes these meetings are small within our department, and sometimes if they're more general, it's with a larger group. We do have quite a few virtual conferences because a lot of our a lot of the colleagues that work at Wiley are located remotely or in a different office entirely. So there are lots of Skyping meetings or webinars, which I think is great. There's definitely a real effort that's been made to involve everybody who works at the company, regardless of where they're located.
Oh, that's great.
I personally, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
I personally don't travel to meet international colleagues because everything that I work with them on, I can speak with them about on the phone or via email. But it's great for me to attend the meetings that they come to do because it's always nice to meet with people in person. But for clients, I do travel whenever they need me to.
So it is a mix, I think, and that makes some sense. Being able to meet in person with people is, I think, still pretty essential for creating ties that bind, I guess. And thinking of or speaking of creating those kinds of networks, Allison Maurer has a question about readership. So finding a readership, and Allison, I'm gonna unmute you here so that you can actually ask your question in person rather than having me translate it.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks, Corey. Hi, Kate.
Hi.
My question is, I was really intrigued when you were talking about helping authors find a readership, and that seems like a really great service to me, but it also seems kind of like a challenge, so I just wondered if you could say more about that.
Sure. Well, we do offer an author services page, which includes sometimes finding English editing or translation services. It's not something we offer for all journals because it can be a burden on the editorial office. But especially for our international authors, we recognize, that publications from China and Japan and India are becoming more and more important and more well-researched. In the past, there's been, kind of some doubt about the quality of publications coming out of areas where there perhaps aren't as strict copyright laws or research laws or ethics laws. But now that's really changed, and universities and societies in those countries are really producing very good research. So we want to try and accommodate people who have a lot to offer as best we can. We don't fund any of those programs ourselves, but we do facilitate people being able to access them, and often we will translate our instructions for authors into another language like Spanish or Mandarin, so they're able to understand the journal and what we're looking for and have a better idea if it fits their publication needs.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Great. So there's a few other questions here too. One from Charles, which is more just about quantity. So he wants to know how many journals does each team handle. So you're in the specifically in the medical journals division.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many journals are you actually overseeing there?
I personally oversee 3 right now. I actually have more than 3 right now because there's a colleague of mine who's on maternity leave and I'm offering coverage for her. My manager manages a portfolio of about 12 to 20, and that's a pretty standard number for more experienced JPMs. In the medical journals division, we have about 85 titles, and I'd say that over the whole company, we have about 1,500 journal titles that we manage in the STMS program, which includes our social science titles, our life science titles, our nursing and veterinary titles, and physical sciences like earth sciences.
That's an incredible amount. Yeah, that's pretty staggering.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of content.
No, that's great. So let's see. I just want to make sure I hit everyone's questions and comments. Oh, Adam just was talking about this idea of the town hall meeting. Sort of a chance for people to share out accomplishments, goals, challenges, etc. On a sort of wider basis as one way to sort of get beyond siloed.
Yeah, the town hall meetings are great. One of the things that we've been talking about frequently at our town hall meetings are the different futures that publishing could find. A very online open future or a very restricted future that's more along the lines of a traditional print and online system of publishing. A more Napster type future where there's lots of file sharing and not very much paying for stuff, not in like an online open way, but in a iTunes torrent type way. So there's lots of different perspectives about where the future might go, and the town hall meetings discuss that a lot, and it's an opportunity for colleagues to see what our management team is thinking and what we are thinking, and if those coincide or if they're differing. And I think they're just a really great service that our company provides for our colleagues. It's a way to really talk about where we're going and why and how to get there, which I think is wonderful.
And it sounds like they're pretty open. I mean, if you're talking about the possibilities of some open access titles, talking about the possibility of where restrictions need to be, where they might need to be let up, it sounds like there's a lot of good open conversation.
Yeah, it's definitely still up in the air for so many publishers, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see where we actually end up and which future is going to be the one that's the actual future.
Right.
Excuse me.
That actually leads to a question I had, which is about, you talked a little bit about the Article Anywhere platform, which sounds like it has a lot of potential, but thinking a lot about SSP's last annual meeting last May, all about mobility and making sure that the publications that societies are putting out and others are putting out are mobile ready, or have reactive design, et cetera, borrow insights from colleagues there at Wiley as well. Is this trend something that's just going to continue to amplify in 2013? I mean, here we are, the middle of January, so this is sort of predictive, I guess, of the next year. So is it going to be mobile for 2013 as well, or is there another trend that we should be on the lookout for?
I definitely think the mobile trend is going to continue. I mean, all of our clients are interested in mobile. They all want apps and that are easy for people to reach, which is why we've developed the Anywhere article. It should be highly functional on apps and on desktop computers, so it should be good for everyone and everyone's needs. So I think that the mobile thing is not going anywhere anytime soon, and we're just trying to keep up, do people really need apps, or is there a better way to address their needs? But I think one thing that we're really seeing a lot of trending towards is online open and open access. And Adam talked a little bit about this in his past presentation. But I think that's something that we're really going to have to address, all publishers, not just Wiley, in the coming year, and of course in 2014 and on. There's so many institutions now that are requesting that their authors and their professors only publish in open access journals. There was a big resolution in the United Kingdom that just came out recently about making open access publishing a trend, and I believe Harvard also has requested that their professionals publish open access, so it's something that everyone can access. And that's a really interesting number. One way is a corporate publisher like Wiley makes money. There's definitely going to be a balance around determining what kind of open access and online open go and how we can meet the needs of our clients while also remaining a profitable business. I think online open is going to be really significant for not just us, but for our competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does seem like then creating delivery mechanisms that are, the sort of the value add of the publisher.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be hand in hand.
And that kind of leads to a question that Adam has about print and whether there's still demand for print, or if the shift really is dramatically toward online only.
Well, it really depends on our clients. We have some clients that are all about embracing digital technology. They want to go online only with their want to publish in print, and they're exclusively online. We have the clients that really want an app, either for iPhone or iPad or other Android devices, who have been developing virtual issues, which are entirely online, who have been developing podcasts as another way to reach their readership. So there are some of our clients who are really interested in online publishing only and digital content. We have other clients who are more what I think of as like old school, and they really feel that print is the most valuable because it allows live to have that in print in that traditional format. So some of our clients are really attached to print, and they feel like it's important to maintain that traditional element of their publishing. So I think it's really a divide. But we are, as a company, encouraged to move towards digital printing because I think we feel that it's really the future.
That's great.
So it's definitely a divide.
Yeah, that you have to tailor output to client, right? There's no other way to sort of make product except according to what your clients need, it seems.
Absolutely. But like I said, our clients are very mixed.
Right. So, and that's not to make everything a segue, but but thinking toward publishing futures, one question from Charles and his colleague Catherine, they want to know a little bit more personally about your own sort of predicting the future and your own career future. So how do you see your future career unfolding? What is
at Wiley, the career structure is quite hierarchical, and it's quite like predetermined. So when I started as an editorial assistant, I was then promoted to a senior editorial assistant, and then I actually skipped a level and became an assistant editor. There's multiple steps up the ladder towards director and vice president and all of that good stuff. So there's quite a long ways between me and upper management. But so there is like a very defined career path at Wiley, which is actually pretty helpful when you start your career. It's a really great way to see, okay, well, this is where I'm starting and this is where I could go from here. But another great thing about Wiley is that our teams are really open about sharing their knowledge. So it's possible to learn a lot more about a different department and feel that, oh, this would be a better fit for me. We have people changing departments quite frequently to fit their needs and their skill sets better. I don't know if I will do that in the future because I really enjoy the client management aspect of my career, but Wiley has really good options for people who want to move around.
That's great. But so it sounds like you definitely see yourself staying within Wiley, though, for sure.
Yeah, I enjoy the company quite a bit.
That's great. Well, I don't have further questions. Are there other questions from the audience? Again, feel free to use that the hand symbol. Oh, here's one from Demisty Bellinger. I'm hoping I have that at least somewhat right. So she asked, do you have in-house development or do you contract out for apps? So this is again about the sort of move toward mobile publication. So do you contract out, or how do you ensure security for contracted apps if that's how you actually proceed at Wiley?
In the past, for smartphone apps, which was where we started with our app program, we have been contracting out to various vendors. A lot of those vendors have since either joined up with other vendors or have ended up going under. For the journal, for the Anywhere article program and its associated program, the Journal App Project, those are programs that Wiley has developed in-house. So we do still contract out for things such as podcast management and site development in some cases. We do also have our own in-house site tools for making custom websites. But so again, it has been a mix, but the Anywhere article is something Wiley has been developing, I think, hand in hand with vendors for certain products, but it's something that Wiley is managing ourselves.
Okay, interesting. So in some ways, the Anywhere article is kind of a response to the need to have a little bit more control over how you do mobile at Wiley.
I think it's the result of working with other vendors and finding things we like and things that didn't work so well for us, and it's become a proprietary product that we're really, really proud of. So I'm hopeful that once it's open, everyone will be excited to check it out on our online platform. There will be papers, of course, that are open to everyone, so it's something I think that people are going to really enjoy.
Great. That sounds really cool. Yeah, and do let us know when that goes live.
Absolutely. It's scheduled for the summer. We don't know exactly a date yet, but it's on a Wiley Online Library. And if you also Google for Wiley Anywhere article, you can see a video we've produced about the new Anywhere article and its capabilities. So it's really exciting stuff. Oh,
cool. So I'll do one more round. Any other questions? Well, thanks so much. Just sort of Wiley, and specifically at Wiley Sysful and fun too. So thanks again.
Yeah, absolutely. And please, anybody who has any future questions, it's K Bridgewater, which is my last name, at wiley.com, and I'm happy to talk to anyone about anything. So
great. And
thanks for letting me talk.
Yeah, and thanks to all of our participants. Just one quick announcement before we go. We'll be hosting a similar webinar next month for SSP's Professional Development Travel Grant Award winners. Stay tuned for announcements about that. It'll probably be sometime around the middle of the month in this joining us today. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, everyone.